Amateur Radio News and Notes for Friday, July 18th, 2025. I'm Ed Kabik, November 2, Echo Charlie. In the log this week, we'll be talking about a DXpedition spotlight for PJ2Y, a youth DX adventure in Curacao. We'll also be spotlighting a contest, the YOTA contest for 2025. We'll talk about MVARC Nets on the air, see what's happening with DX, get a solar activity update, talk about some upcoming contests, and take a look at interesting online radio content. The Dave Coulter Memorial Youth DX Adventure is back on the air July 17th to 22nd this year. They will be operating at the Caribbean Contesting Consortium's Super Contest Station, PJ2T, in Curacao. The youth team will be operating as a DX special event station for 4 days, with round-the-clock operations being anticipated. The youth team includes Isaiah Russell, KJ5CMP, Josiah Russell, WD5JR, Agnes Wagner, AD8IR, and Ben Wagner, AD8FQ. Joining the kids will be John Russell, N5VOF, and Joanne Russell. I've been fortunate enough to meet Isaiah and Josiah through teaching CW and the Long Island CW Club, and I'm very excited to get the team in the log on this exciting DX adventure. Congratulations to the entire team, and we wish them good luck and great DX. For more information, check out the Youth DX Adventure site at youthdxa.org. This weekend brings round 2 of the Youth on the Air, or YOTA, contest, organized by the IARU R1 Youth Working Group and the MRASZ, or Hungarian Amateur Radio Society. The purpose of this contest is to increase activity by youth on the airwaves and to build support for youngsters across the globe. The contest gets started on July 19th at 10 UTC, that's 5 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, until 2200 UTC at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and is open to all amateurs and also to YOTA, or youngsters on the air, who are defined as any operator 25 years of age or younger. The bands in operation will be 80 meters, 40 meters, 20 meters, 15 meters, and 10 meters, and the modes will be CW and single sideband. There are several different operating categories for both all ops and the YOTA ops, with different numbers of bands, operating hours, and numbers of operators. In the contest, everyone can work everyone, and you can work the same station on the same band in CW and single sideband. The exchange is the RST and age on January 1st for single ops, and the RST and average of ages of the 1st of January for multiple operator stations. QSO points for the station over 25 are 1 point for the same continent and 2 points for another continent. QSOs with youngsters, regardless of their continent, are 13 points for under 12 years old, 12 points for 12 to 16 years old, 11 points for 17 to 21 years old, and 10 points for 22 to 25 years old. Different ages worked act as multipliers, and the final result is the sum of points earned per band and the mode multiplied by the sum of the multipliers worked per band. So points can escalate quickly. This promises to be a fun contest for everyone, so give it a go this weekend and support the YOTA stations. Full rules and details can be found at yotacontest.mrasz.org/rules. Good luck. And now it's time to talk about some MVARC Nets on the air. We have our 2-meter FM net every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on the repeater, which is immediately followed by our 2-meter digital net on Yaesu System Fusion C4 FM. On the weekends, we have the MVARC Slow Speed CW Roundtable on Saturday and Sunday at 7:30 a.m. on 3.565 megahertz CW. And of course, we will slow down to whatever speed you're comfortable, usually about 12 to 15 words a minute. And after that, at 8:30 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday on 3.920 megahertz lower sideband, we have the Cherry Tree Net, which always has a lively conversation, and you're always welcome to join us. And now it's time to take a look at what's happening with DX. There'll be a good amount of DX on the bands this week. Stations on the air include Svalbard, Fuerte Island, Greenland, Nicaragua, Tarawa Kiribati, Benin, Kuwait, and Antarctica. A calendar of DXpeditions can be found at dxnews.com/calendar. And now it's time for a solar activity update. As we go to press, the solar flux index was at 156, and the estimated sunspot number was 182, with 11 numbered sunspot regions visible from Earth. Over the last week, the SFI has increased. Solar activity has been at low levels recently. The geomagnetic field was at active to minor storm levels, and the KP index reached 4 yesterday. The solar wind peaked at 789 kilometers per second. Solar activity is predicted to be at quiet to active levels today, and at quiet to unsettled levels over the weekend. The chance of solar radiation storms at the S1 or greater level is low at 10%. R1 to R2 radio blackouts are likely in the near term, with a predicted probability of 60%. R3 or greater blackouts are less likely, with a 15% chance predicted. There's a chance of 6-meter propagation, so keep an eye on the band and spotting clusters to be ready for the next time the magic band does its thing. HF conditions have been favorable overall, and it remains a fantastic time for amateurs to get on the air and work the world. Good sources of real-time solar information include spaceweatherlive.com and solarham.com. A good overview of conditions can be found at dx.qsl.net/propagation. And to see D-layer absorption data and associated radio blackouts, check out the NOAA D-Region Absorption Predictions, or DRAP page. To see real-time maximum usable frequency, or MUF, and critical frequency, or FOF2 information from Radiosonde data, visit prop.kc2g.com. And now it's time to take a look at some upcoming contests. On the contest calendar this weekend, we will see the LABRE DX contest, the Russian Radio Team Championship, the Trans-Tasman Low Bands Challenge, the YOTA contest we talked about earlier, the Feld Hell Sprint, the CQ Worldwide VHF Digital Contest, the IARU Region 1 70 megahertz contest, which sadly we here in the U.S., we don't have that band, so we can't participate in that one. And also the North American QSO Party on Ready, the RSGB International Low Power Contest, and the Run for the Bacon QRP Contest. As always, the K1USN SSTs, the MSTs, and the CWTs will also be on the air. The full contest calendar and events with exchanges can be found at contestcalendar.com. And let's wrap things up with some interesting online radio content. Kevin, W1DED, and the contest crew talked to Roel Anders, K3RA, and Frank Donovan, W3LPL, about the record-breaking W3AO Field Day team. This was an interesting one and worth checking out. Really impressive what those guys have been able to do over the years. Mike, K8MRD, also did a late shift activation on POTA. Elle Marie, KJ5LXP, showed her mobile FTM 510D radio installation. And Kevin, KB9RLW, takes a look at the Elecliv 4K digital microscope. I have a version of this thing, and it's pretty cool. Matt, M0DQW, takes a look at the VGC VR N7600 mobile rig that has a full KISS TNC. Forrest, KI7QCF, is the DX as he operates CW from the beach in Jamaica. It's hard work, but somebody's got to do it. Matt, M0DQW, finishes his 70-centimeter amplifier build. The Solar Lab gives us some of the basics on using solar panels in series and parallel configurations. Josh, KI6NAZ, gives his favorite portable HF antenna pick. Mark, KD7DTS, and Ara, N6ARA, talk field day, and lots more on the latest sofas on the air. Dan, WD4DAN, talks about the shutdown of Ham Shack Hotline. Elle Marie, KJ5LXP, goes on a road trip and makes some contacts on her mobile VHF rig. Liddy, KQ3Q, activates Bill Baggs Cape Florida State Park in Florida on CW. And NanoFix talks soldering temperatures and techniques for electronics work. Well, that is it for this week. Thanks, as always, for joining us. I've been Ed, November 2 Echo Charlie. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Best 73, and we look forward to seeing you next week.